What is up guys, Tejas here from Lemon Gauge Recordings, and it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I'm really excited for this one because the awesome, great folks at Drumforge just sent me the pre-release version of the upcoming DF Comp plugin. I'm really excited to show you guys this plugin. I just received it a while back and I've been playing around with it, and it's really great. Now, as it's part of the Drumforge line of plugins and it's supposed to be a drum centric compressor, I don't think you guys need to limit yourself. Experiment, see what works for you, and trust your ears. So let's try the DF Comp on one of my mixes and let's see how DF Comp sounds. Now, before playing anything, I just want to show you guys the DF Comp layout and UI so that you guys get an idea of how it looks and how you can use it. Now, the great thing about DF Comp is how simple and intuitive it is to use, and it's also intuitive in terms of the layout of the knobs. I mean, they have the bypass button obviously on the top. We can obviously use the plugin's bypass button itself, but they've also provided another button. Now, there's obviously the input and output knobs. The meters, you can change the metering to input and output meters, or also the gain reduction. Now, they have a couple of modes here: kick, snare, toms, overheads, rooms, and bus. Now, these modes are designed for that particular application or that particular signal, but see what works for you. You might be surprised with the results. Now, this is a compression knob. This is the amount of compression you're adding to the signal, and obviously the mix knob, adding your dry signal along with the wet signal. Now, this is where the magic happens. They have 3 vibe switches: the soft, medium, and hard. Now, these are just different compression types. See what compression vibe is working for the song and just go with it. So it's really simple. There are no numbers involved here. You don't have to think about ratio 3:1, 4:1. You don't have to think about attack and release times and all that stuff. You just have to trust your ear and just get to mixing. Now, I'll be playing a mixed version of this song here. This song is by the band Perfect Strangers from Bangalore. This song is called Just for Gigs. They just released their debut full-length album called A Strange Connection. So check these guys out, show them some support. This is the mixed version of the song. Let's just add DF Comp to a couple of tracks and see what more we can add to those tracks. So for your reference, let's just play a part of this song so that you have an idea of the song before getting into any particular track. So here goes. Driving up till the dead of the night, 'cause sometimes, someday, somehow we will be your heroes if you still believe, and we won't let this dream die. We will never compromise. Just wait and see. And as these years will rush by in the twinkling of the night, you'll remember me. Great, so let's add an instance of DF Comp. Let's start with the kick drum. Let's solo the kick drum first and add an instance of DF Comp. I'll play the soloed kick drum first with DF Comp bypassed, and then let's bring the DF Comp on and let's see how it sounds and what we can do with it. So here goes. Play that back again. So around there is where I would kind of leave it, and I like the roundness that the soft vibe is adding to the kick drum. Really cool. You can go really crazy with it. If you already heard, the hard setting was bringing out a lot of the room. Now if you like a lot of room on your kick drum, you can go with that. Really cool. I'm loving how it sounds. Let's move on to, say, a snare and open another instance of DFCOM. So I have 3 snare tracks: the snare top, snare bottom, and a snare sample, which was the actual snare track sampled while recording the drums. So here's DFComp on the snare and the snare soloed. Let's bypass the DFComp for now and let's see how it sounds. So the hard setting is bringing in a lot of that attitude and a lot of punch. The medium setting is bringing out a lot of that low mids and the body of the snare out, and the soft setting is making the snare a little rounder and more controlled. So for this particular application, I would go for, say, the medium setting. At maybe the compression can be dialed down a bit, and also the mix knob. So let's see where I would leave it. Very cool. That's where I would leave it for this particular application. So let's move on to maybe another example where we can go a little more crazier with the compression. Let's go to a room track, solo the room, bypass the DF comp. Let's see how the room sounds by itself. Bring in the DF comp. The medium setting is perfect for this room because it's bringing in a lot of that snare out and the body of the snare, and it's also taming the cymbals at the same time. The hard setting is bringing out a lot of the high end and the cymbals. So for this particular song, I might not use the hard setting, but I'm loving the medium setting on this. So let's kind of come to a medium ground on where I would leave the compression for the room track. So here goes. I like the soft setting too. It's a little more controlled, but you know, if you want a little more attitude out of the room, you can go for the medium or hard. Very cool. Loving that. Let's now move on to the drum bus and see what the DF comp can do to the entire drum bus. So right now I have 3 auxes on my drums. So there's the drum group, there's a drum parallel group, and there's a drum verb. So what I'm going to do now is mute the drum verb and the drum parallel. Let's try some parallel compression and see what that does. So the DF comp is on the bus mode, and I'll also bypass the actual bus compressor that I use for this song. So let's see what the drums sound without any bus compression. Add in the DF comp. So here I've mixed in 50% of the dry and 50% of the wet. I've used the hard setting here. I like how that sounds for the drum bus, and the compression knob is at around 61.5%. Loving how this sounds. You can go a little more crazier, but this is where I would leave it, maybe a little more compression, but that's about what I would do if I had to parallel compress my bus. It's bringing out a lot of that room from the kick and snare too, so that's really cool. Loving how this sounds. So that's the DF comp on the drum bus. So as I'm using the mix knob here, I don't really need to add another bus specifically for parallel compression. Now just for the fun of it, let's add DF comp on the entire mix bus and see what that does. Like I said, you don't have to play by the rules, you can take some risks sometimes, you know. So let's add the DF comp on the mix bus, play a part of the song. I've bypassed the compressor that I used on the original mix. Add the DF comp, bypassed, let's play it.
You there watching us, thinking that this band's your side. Just another night in Paradise City. We tried it hard, no gig so far. Didn't even get paid an exposure. The grass is brown and the girls aren't pretty. While we try to play our songs, the crowd just wants those sing-alongs. So we quickly turn to a ditty. Think about those sleepless nights, writing songs and endless fights.
Now for this application, I'm kind of tending towards the soft or the medium vibe because both of them are kind of warmer. I think I like the soft for this because it has that very rock sounding compression. So that was a short demo of the DF comp for you guys, and I hope you like the video. DF comp is releasing very soon, and if you like how it sounds, go check it out, go purchase it. And again, I would like to thank everyone from Drumforge for sending me this pre-release version and letting me check out Drumforge. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys very soon. Cheers.